Well, what was supposed to be something kind of small is now entered something I'm not going to necessarily dive a ton into, but I want to bring up color scheming. MLB The Show 26. So, alongside the Captain Blizzard 6 drop, which has two more captains for you if you're so into that, alongside some of the speculation that has been brewing because of the color scheme. So, not a lot to get into, but we will dive into this sort of weird Tuesday drop here in the show. So, if you leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, we will be keeping up to date as best we can on some of this stuff as things go along here. So, let's get in and take a gander. All right. So, again, today here, the biggest thing we're going to be talking about is going to be the Blizzard Program 6 drop. Basically, the biggest thing for this is more or less the drop, basically. And then again, the 9th Weekend Classics. There's 2 more Weekend Classics. If you're going to be taking part in that, go hog wild. If not, totally understandable. And then we're kind of on a break until the end of January, going to February. And again, after the 6th, basically, I'm going to say this. After the 6th, I think, is when things are going to start happening. And because of that, some other stuff that we're going to talk about here in a second. But first things first, let's talk about the new captains. And in terms of the new captains, we have a 70s and 80s captain alongside the 30-30 captain, which is Ian Kinsler. So let's talk about the 70s and 80s. It is a Tony Perez, 118, 103, 125, 107. Can play first base only. Decent fielder. He has to be on your team naturally. So I don't know if you combine him with like the old timers and then you kind of got the 50s through the 80s in reality. So it kind of gives you a little bit more of a mix and match sort of situation. For him at his max, 10 to both power on both sides, plus 10 batting clutch and 10 walk per 9. The more interesting one here, I would say this is an interesting captain for 30-30. The only thing I'm wondering is if this is it only, I mean, granted, if you hit anything more, you're included in 30-30. So this might be a sneaky fun team. 97, 115, 120, 125 versus right and left, respectively. Ian Kinsler, again, just plays second base. The good speed right there at 97, 87, 85. If you're talking about that fielding, not too shabby. Now, his is Bauer is right side only for so plus 10 vision and 10 speed. This one actually might be fun. It doesn't say more. It just says who've tallied 30 homers and 30 steals in a single season. I'm going to guess this is also going to be the higher echelon. So if they were 40-40, they're included. And the only 50-50 guy, Ohtani, I assume would be included. But we'll kind of see. But I'm guessing the wording here just essentially means that. So if you are ever so inclined to get them, knock out the missions. I don't know what these missions are going to be. Wins, extra base hits, and stolen bases. Only 3. These aren't really too difficult. And in terms of the Cavs we had so far, I think this might be the most beneficial, I would say. I think, at least in terms of that. I mean, these, like I said, and then you tie him in with, I think he was the 8 lefty Puerto Rico. Where was was it righty? Was it this guy who had the Asian born? Where were the old timers? This guy? Old timers, yeah. And they're what's the old timers considered? Prior to 70. So there you go. You combine these two together. I think you'll have a fun team. However, for the other side of this coin here, there's something that happened today that has sparked some talking points here, and that is this. This is from Nutsy Poo over here on Twitter, and it looks like the site's been updated. It is orange and blue, meaning people thinking it's going to be Juan Soto or Scuball. I've said plenty of times, I stand by it. I'm not here to recklessly speculate on cover athletes. He thinks it's Tyreek Scuball. I think this does fit this color scheme more than the Mets. Again, I'm not here to speculate. I am not one of those people. I don't think talking about who cover athletes are, who should be, what does every little hint ultimately mean? That's not generally my cup of tea. I just don't. I've never been that thing. I am not that type of dude. It's not something necessarily in my weapons war per se. I'm going to state this. If this is Skubal, I'm fine with it. One of the things that I think is telling here, and this is going to sound really, really odd, but it generally is true for the most part, is the cards that are given out, if there's something missing, right? And what I mean by missing is, you know how last year, like, hey, there was no finest Paul Skeens, no Gunner, no Ellie. Generally, that's your kind of, your inkling, your clue of something more to come. Now, in terms of the missing cards that are so obvious, well, Tyreek got one. Tyreek has the finest. Finest Tyreek is here. The Tigers have 4 finest cards. They gave Tyreek one. Tark. They gave Skubal one. I can't say his first name. They gave Skubal a card. They didn't leave him out there. They gave him one. Now, could they also give out a promo card? Possible. I think the year prior, I think Vlad might have gotten a finest. I really don't recall. I'm only saying this in terms of last year. Now, granted, patterns can change. But generally, like I said, there usually is some sort of inkling, some kind of clue that says, hey, this guy didn't get something. Methinks. Now, in terms of the other side of things, when we talk about the Mets, for instance, here, we're just going to go to the Mets thing because they're might be a little bit easier. If we go to, where is it? My players. Let's go to the Mets really quick. In terms of this is, like I said, I think these inklings are done on purpose. In terms of the finest cards, Juan Soto also has one. What I'm trying to get at here is in terms of the inklings, the sort of, well, where's the smoke? I couldn't tell you. Now, does this ultimately mean anything? Not really. For what it's worth, I don't think it matters a whole hell of a lot, to be completely honest with you. The reason why I say this doesn't matter is they can give him another one. I mean, hypothetically, will they? I don't know. You can't really improve on this guy. So what else could it be? Again, I'm not here to speculate at all. I don't know what's in their heads at all, to be completely honest with you. I think they're placeholder colors. They've done this before. They probably will do it something similar again. In terms of who it is, it's probably something we're not necessarily thinking of. Hell, it could be a giant, and it could just be focusing on the orange, not so much the blue. I couldn't tell you. It could be an Oriole, even though we just had one. You get the thing I'm trying to get at here is I don't think it means much. I think it's just hinting, or they're trying to do it. I don't know. Again, if they drop like I said, they give out a card. Does it really matter which one it's going to be? I don't have an earthly idea. It's very obviously it is Detroit colors more so than Mets colors. We'll kind of see what happens, but that's sort of the words that are going out. Again, I'm not necessarily here to speculate and stuff. A lot of people say I've heard a lot of Juan Soto talk. It could be Skubal. I don't know. It could be Barry Bonds, and they could just be lying to us. It could even be an Astro. They have orange too. I'm not here to speculate. Not here really to do much of anything in this regard, but I'm just going to state that the numbers there. If I had to venture a guess, I think the blue's not necessarily there for a particular reason. I think the number might be the clue. I don't know. We'll sort of see how things kind of play out. Last year, if you remember, like I said, there were 3 sort of obvious ones that are missing. I can't really think of anything that's obviously missing. I might look and see if there is something there. But again, not necessarily here to speculate. I'm just here to sort of show you. It could Juan Soto be great? Yeah. Could Skubal be great? Yeah. Could it be something we don't expect? Absolutely, positively. we'll kind of see how things go out, especially where I think we're going to get more information in early February because I think they want the game out for WBC. So we'll see how things go. But again, wanted to throw that out there. Alrighty, so that is going to take the rest of this episode short, sweet, and to the point. And again, we'll probably have something a little bit more later in the week. We'll kind of see how things go, possibly, but we'll see. So I want to throw that out there. Thanks so much for watching this. And with all that being said, my name is Specs, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys.